Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Suci Indah Sari. Language in linguistic perspective is a communication tool used by a person to convey something, which contains five main aspects of language according to linguistics. Namely, the first, phonology. Phonology is an aspect of language that is related to the system of sound or phoneme in language. Next, morphology. Morphology is concerned with word structure, namely the way words are formed from small elements called it morpheme. Next, syntax. Syntax is the study of sentence structure in language. And semantics focus on the meaning of language. And the last, pragmatics. Pragmatics is the study of language used in communication context. Language in discourse perspective, there are two important components, namely form. In discourse analysis refers to the structural and linguistic aspect of text or discourse. This includes understanding how words, phrase, sentence, and other linguistic elements are arranged in text. And then function. Function component is related to the purpose or impact of the discourse. It examines why the discourse is produced, for whom, and with what purpose. Language in psycholinguistic perspective is seen as a communication tool used by humans which is influenced by thought. There are three important components, namely form. This related to how language is realized in the phonological or sound, morphological or word structure, and syntactic sentence structure aspect. And then function includes understanding the meaning of word, sentence, and the use of language in a communicative context. And the last, mind, refer to the brain and cognitive process that enable humans to understand, produce, and interact with language. As a component of language understanding, how this mental process operate is important to understanding how language is used and understood by humans. The conceptualization stage and semantical knowledge, the first stage of language production, is conceptualization, which can be understood as a process of bringing concepts, ideas, or intentions into our mind as an initial preparation before we start speaking. Possessed by a person so that he or she is able to formulate and determine the meaning or message to be conveyed before speaking. In psycholinguistics, such knowledge is also known as an abstract idea in the form of a purpose or concept. And then the formulation stage and syntactical, the formulation stage, and syntactical knowledge. The second stage of language production is the formulation stage. The formulation stage refers to the activity of creating or preparing language production by selecting appropriate words and sentence structures combined to make meaningful speech. At this stage, a person will use his or her mind to choose the words that will be used to represent the intentions previously set at the conceptualization stage. Expert from Garrett. Formulation commonly takes place effectively when the speaker has the following syntactical knowledge, namely knowledge of lemma, knowledge of lexeme, and then knowledge of grammatical encoding. And then the third, articulation. This is the final stage where language concept and planning are realized. The last, articulation. This is the final stage where language concept and planning and realize through physical movements that produce language sounds. This stage involves control of the mouth, tongue, lips, and vocal cords to produce appropriate sounds. Yes, I agree with the statement that conceptualization requires semantic knowledge. Semantic knowledge is the main basic in the conceptualization process. Thus, semantic knowledge plays an important role in conceptualization by providing a basic for understanding the meaning of words, concept, and semantic relations. Without semantic knowledge, conceptualization will be difficult, even impossible, because individuals will have difficult formulating, communicating, and understanding concepts in their language. Semantic microplanning focuses more on understanding meaning at the level of individual words, phrase, or sentence. This involves understanding the meaning of words, their syntactic role, the semantic relationship between words in a sentence, and the use of punctuation. At the micro level, individuals try to understand how word and phrase related to each other in sentence, the use of conceptual meaning, and how language elements contribute to the meaning of a sentence. So semantic macro planning is concerned with understanding the overall context. Semantic macro planning is concerned with understanding the overall context, while semantic micro planning is concerned with understanding meaning at a more detailed level. These two levels work together to provide a complete understanding of meaning in language processing and aid in effective communication. Brain area for conceptualization. In this case, we not only need to understand the conceptualization process theoretically, but we also need to understand which of the various brain's area perform the conceptualization function. To understand this, Cho 2023 provide an explanation of the area of the brain that play important roles in speech and language. In this picture, three areas of the brain have crucial roles in speech and language. The first, Wernicke's area and Broca's area, as well as angular gyrus area, as well as angular gyrus area. Each of the area performs different function in language production. The first, Wernicke's area, is the area of the brain involved in language processing from conceptualization to formulation. This section starts pre-linguistic activities, determining concept and choosing appropriate words and sentence structures, then send pre-linguistic information to Broca's area. Broca's area is the part of the brain playing a role in producing speech. Therefore, the articulation stage is carried out by this part of the brain. And the last, angular gyrus area, performs the function of receiving language produced up to the language comprehension stage. Pause area, a phenomenon that involves temporary stopping while speaking. The first pause area, a phenomenon that involves temporary stopping while speaking. But psycholinguistic pause refer to a temporary stop in speaking that can be explained from a psycholinguistic point of view. This often occurs when someone is speaking and can appear in various forms, including short or long pause. Theory by Level's model. This model, known as Level's model of speech production, propose that speech production involves three stages conceptual planning, lexical planning, and phonological planning. A psycholinguistic break can occur when an individual encounters difficulties in one of these stages, which can lead to an inability to speak. And then fill pause. Fill pause area, a type of pause that is generally generally filled with words like mm, or you know. They appear in speaking as fillers in silence as a person searches. In silence as a person searches for the right word or thinking about that to say next. Theory, delay theory. This theory states that the fill pause appear as an indication of delay in language transmission related to word selection or deciding the structure of the next sentence. They provide extra time for the brain to process information and plan appropriate language expression.